Peace, peace, good people. It's your good sis Morgan Myers. We tuning in for another herb, learning about another herb in this Medicinal Herbs book. Let's see which one we doing today. Today is Thursday, January 9th, 2024. Give thanks for another day. Us taking our health and wellness into consideration. Want to be educated about what's going on in our body, what's in nature as we walking around, what's out here. So let's see where we start. We already read about cinnamon. Let's see what's next. See what else we could do. Appreciate the love. All right, saw palmetto. I don't even think I know nothing about this, so I will really be learning something then. Okay, they look like little, what they look like to y'all? They look like little olives, little berries. Let's get into it. Saw palmetto, also known as Serenoa repens. So native to the southeastern United States, saw palmetto is a low-growing palm with distinctive fan-shaped leaves. Oh, okay. This right here. So the fruit of some type of palm, I reckon. Okay. So vast unbroken tracts of saw palmetto once covered hundreds of miles of coastal land in Florida, Georgia, and other parts of the region. The density of the plants, coupled with the saw-like edges of the leaf stalks, made the tracks almost impassable. The dark purple fruits, I'm going to pause there real quick. So when you are building a food forest or growing intentionally on your land, if your goal is to keep something or someone out, this is where your knowledge of herbs and plants come into play. Because if you want to basically, let's say you got some intruders coming into your land, if you plant a plant like saw palmetto or some other type of vining plant or a thorny plant that snags at you, at least it can potentially catch your predator or your whoever's trying to do you wrong. It'll catch them up and give you enough time to either hear the alarm go off, or they didn't trip the wire that alerts you that somebody's coming in, be able to see your camera, see what's going on. So that's just something to keep in mind. Certain plants have certain protective measures about them. If you know what they are and know where to plant them on the outskirts of your property or throughout your property to keep people out of your property. Back to it. So it says, so vast unbroken tracts of saw palmetto once covered hundreds of miles of coastal land in Florida, Georgia, and other parts of this region. The density of the plants, coupled with the saw-like edges of the leaf stalks, made the tracks almost impassable. The dark purple fruits of saw palmetto, about the size and shapes of olives, I just said that, were an indispensable dietary staple among Native American tribes for perhaps as much as 12,000 years before Europeans set foot in this part of North America. When settlers arrived, they added saw palmetto to their diet and fed the fruits to their livestock. They also observed native tribes using saw palmetto, particularly as a remedy for urinary tract complaints. By the late 1800s, the plant had found its way into conventional medicine in the U.S. Interest in saw palmetto waned for a time, but since the 1990s, it has been the herb of choice among herbal practitioners for prostate problems. The Seminole and other tribes in the southeastern U.S. had a long tradition of using saw palmetto for urinary complaints, digestive problems, and dysentery, and as an aphrodisiac, an expectorant, and antiseptic, and a tonic to improve general health. Early 20th century conventional and American eclectic physicians. Now let's look that up. There was a few words in here that was highlighted in bold, so that means it's in the dictionary. So let's see what eclectic, how they define that. Eclectic, referring to a medical movement that flourished in the United States from 1850 to 1940. Physicians who use the eclectic approach relied heavily on American medicinal plants. Eclectic physicians introduced echinacea and black cohosh and other botanical remedies. Okay. It also had expectorant highlighted. So let's see what that says. Expectorant is a substance that stimulates removal of mucus from the lungs. So it's been known as a digestive problems, aphrodisiac, and expectorant, and antiseptic. Antiseptic means a substance that discourages the growth of microorganisms. Okay, So, eclectic physicians recommend saw palmetto for a variety of health problems. In particular, preparations of the fruits were given to help resolve urinary tract infections and to alleviate symptoms of enlarged prostate and boost libido. While interest in herbs of all kinds had faded in the U.S. by the 1950s, saw palmetto use in Europe steadily increased. European companies were among the first to produce standardized extracts of saw palmetto fruit. In modern herbal medicine, saw palmetto is primarily used to treat benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, an enlargement of the prostate gland. It is used by 2 million men in the United States alone. Some herbal practitioners also recommend saw palmetto for chronic pelvic pain syndrome, CPPS, in men, inflammation of the urethra, bladder disorders, and gallbladder problems. Saw palmetto berries are the source for extracts that go into widely used herbal remedies to treat prostate problems. That's good to know. So in 1879, they have a timeline on the bottom. 1879, J.B. Reed, or Red, is R-E-A-D. We're going to call him Red. J.B. Red introduces saw palmetto in American Journal of Pharmacy. In 1907, drug firm Eli Lilly sets up saw palmetto drying facility in Vero Beach, Florida. In 1926, saw palmetto is listed in the National Formulary in the U.S., but dropped in 1950. So almost 30 years. In 1998, saw palmetto is relisted in the National Formulary. Okay, so I'll show you these berries again, and this is what the plant looks like with its saw-like leaves and the berries that come from it. Okay, and this is another picture. So I've been walking past saw palmetto all this time. I think I'm staring out the window at some right now. Let's see. What's this here? This bush and that bush back there. This one looking saw palmetto-ish to me. Yeah, I see that type of plant all over Florida. Well, where I'm at in Jacksonville, I see it all the time. Didn't know that's what it was. Okay, let's read up on more of it. It says there is only one species in the genus Serenoa, the saw palmetto, S. repens. The primary stem is either creeping or ascending, sometimes branched at the base, growing from 3 to 9 feet in height. Leaves are about 3 feet long and broad, occurring in the familiar fan shape of the palm. Individual narrow leaflets, the length of the blade, radiate from a central base. The leaf stalks are the source of the saw in its name, and the edges have sharp saw-like teeth. The small, creamy white, fragrant flowers are crowded in large groups arising from the base of the plant. The fruits, the saw palmetto berries of commerce, are about the size of an olive, oily, green at first, changing to orange-brown, and then, if ripening on the plant, turning black. Growing habits. Saw palmetto is found in pine shrub, dunes, and hummocks, often in dense colonies in the southeastern United States. In Florida, palmetto pine thickets, especially in central and southern Florida, dominate millions of acres of vegetation. Saw palmetto grows on the lower coastal plain from South Carolina to Florida and west to southeastern Mississippi. When ripening, the fruits give off a characteristic fragrance in their habitat. Early European travelers found them rather distasteful. An early account describes the impressions of shipwrecked Quakers on the Florida coast in 1796. We tasted them, but not one among us could suffer them to stay in our mouths, for we would compare the taste of them to nothing else but rotten cheese steeped in tobacco juice. Europeans are so dramatic. Rotten cheese steeped in tobacco juice. And y'all probably came up with cheese. So... However, an 1898 account identifies saw palmetto as a critical food source to early inhabitants, noting that the Aborigines of the Florida Peninsula depended largely upon the berries of the saw palmetto food, because the food was for them. It wasn't for the Europeans. It was for the people native to the land. Cultivation and harvesting. Given its common and abundant occurrence in Florida, saw palmetto is rarely cultivated, though wild plants are sometimes incorporated into landscape design. design. Yeah, millions of pounds of saw palmetto berries are harvested each year, mostly in Florida, but also in southern Georgia and adjacent Alabama. Palmetto thickets are nearly impenetrable because of the sharp sawtooth leaf stem margins that easily rip clothing. Eastern diamondback rattlesnakes rest in the shade of saw palmetto, and wasps build large nests in the center of the shrub, making berry harvest a daunting task in the heat and humidity of late summer. The harvest season lasts from late July to mid-September. Migrant farm workers from Latin America and the Caribbean harvest the berries. A team of 3 pickers can gather a half ton of berries in a morning. They are transported to a central buying facility where they are cleaned and dried. In recent years, extract operations have been set up in Florida. Container loads, each holding about 20,000 pounds of dried berries, are shipped to Europe for extraction, then back to the U.S. as finished extracts or packaged products. Sounds like we need to cut out the middleman and do it ourselves. Therapeutic uses: benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. Saw palmetto's blue-black single-seeded berries are used to make the premier herbal medicine for treating prostate problems. Extracts of the berries. Okay, sorry, I got a notification on my phone. Extracts of the berries act to inhibit an enzyme, 5-alpha reductase, that stops the formation of a potent prostate growth enhancing form of testosterone. Saw palmetto also may have effects on estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone and their receptors in the body. And real quick, let me look up some of these words that are highlighted. We got enzyme, progesterone, and estrogen. So an enzyme is a protein that accelerates chemical reactions. Then they had estrogen highlighted or in bold, which we kind of know what that is. It's a group of hormones produced mainly in the mammalian ovaries that are necessary for female sexual development and reproductive functioning. Now, what's progesterone? Progesterone is a steroid hormone produced in the ovary that prepares and maintains the uterus for pregnancy. Okay? All right, so saw palmetto may also have effects on estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone and their receptors in the body, other mechanisms for slowing the growth of the prostate. All of these effects translate into easing the symptoms of BPH by enhancing urinary flow rates, reducing pain with urination, and decreasing nighttime urination. In most clinical studies, saw palmetto, used as a standardized extract of 320 milligrams daily, relieves BPH symptoms as effectively as the pharmaceutical finasteride. However, finasteride more effectively decreases the size of the prostate. Whereas finasteride decreases testosterone levels in the blood, saw palmetto does not seem to affect blood test results for testosterone, other sex hormones, or PSA, prostate-specific antigen, a marker for prostate cancer, and BPH. Much research has been done on saw palmetto, and the research has undergone rigorous analysis in which researchers compiled results from many studies. The results have been mixed, probably due to flaws in research models, a range in the type of extract used, and the length of time supplements were taken. How to use. You can use it as an extract. Studies have used a specific extract standardized at 80 to 90% fatty acids and sterols, 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 the compounds most effective for BPH symptoms, and dosed at 160 milligrams twice daily. It can be used as a tincture, 1 to 2 milliliters, 3 times a day, or in capsule form. Follow manufacturer's guidelines. So it has a note here. It said it may take 1 to 2 months of using saw palmetto to begin to experience the full benefits of the herb. And then it gives some precautions. Saw palmetto can cause mild stomach upset, constipation, diarrhea, headache, high blood pressure, and itching. Rarely, saw palmetto can cause impotence and decreased sex drive. Due to its possible hormonal effects, saw palmetto is not recommended for those on hormone therapy, nor during pregnancy. However, women are not likely to take this herb because it's more so for male prostates. So over the kitchen counter, saw palmetto tea. In a saucepan, mix 2 tablespoons of dried saw palmetto berries and 2 cups water. Cover, boil, and turn off heat. Let stand 1 hour, then strain. Stir in 1 tablespoon honey and 1/4 teaspoon vanilla extract. Fill a microwavable teacup with the mixture and microwave for about 1 minute or until hot. Enjoy. Okay, all right. Saw Palmetto, urinary and male health. That is good to know. Good to know. I'll be tuning in with y'all again soon with another herb that we can learn about. Thank y'all. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, well, I guess I don't really need to read this, but it's just got a picture of saw palmetto harvesting. These people going out in this field getting the berries. May as well read it. A picker, opposite, consolidates a morning's efforts of gathering saw palmetto berries from wild plants in southern Florida. Saw palmetto thickets, source of the majority of berries harvested for commercial trade, cover millions of Florida acres. Despite high heat and humidity, pickers wear long sleeves and leather gloves for protection against the razor-sharp spines edging the plant's leaf stalks. Ripe berries above, rich in extractable compounds, range from yellow-green to dark blue-black. Freshly picked berries below await drying at a Florida facility. Dried berries are shipped to extractors, mostly in Europe. Extracts returned to U.S. for incorporation into products. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Yeah, I'll tune in with y'all soon with another herb. Y'all stay healthy out there. All right. Peace and love.